Hey, Jim. No pronouns given from Florida. Doesn't believe in miracles as a deist, but listens to the show because I don't feel that deists have a community. What do you say, Jim?
Well, something like that. I have to follow Dan. That was a tough thing to follow.
Yeah, it's a rough follow, huh?
And I think maybe Dan is a little bit, sounds like a bit of a deist as far as looking, he believes in a spiritual being that doesn't necessarily interact, but
well, and I think that they said that they don't believe in the supernatural, though, right?
Yeah. It kind of sounded to me, and I may be way off base here, but it kind of sort of sounded to me like a mix of deism with secular Taoism.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be way off base.
Yeah.
So
I've been. Yeah. So to follow the topic, I guess the miracle was the miracles was the topic. So as a deist, I went back and I guess the last was it Mother Teresa, the last in sainthood. What did she have? A photograph of her that popped up, and there was like a bulb that got blown out, and they said that was one miracle, and then and then there was I forget the second, but somehow she got accepted into sainthood. That's the one thing I think that we have that skepticism, and
bulb bursting doesn't seem like. I was just saying a bulb bursting doesn't seem like much of a miracle, sort of like that curing thirst miracle with the Sidarium that we started the show with. So I'm sorry, Jim, go ahead.
Right. No, Kelley. Yeah. I mean, most of my Starbucks mocha Javas, I see something. I think it could be a shroud. It could be God. It could be Jesus. It could
just be froth.
My last date. Yeah, it could be just froth. I don't know what's in that miracle, but some people do say that. Good for them. But I'm new. I'm a new caller. I'm new in this realm. But here's my deal: is I've gone from a very conservative upbringing of Greek Orthodox my first 20 years. Fast forward, I spent a couple years with someone very special to me. We went on a quest, spent 2 years just going through faith of Eastern and Western philosophies and going to different people, talking to them about their experiences and their lives. Unfortunately, there was no reality TV back then. We couldn't make any money, but that led me to Unitarian. I believe that there was still a God, but I was trying to be accepting of others. Then more towards researching things of Spinoza and moving towards a pantheist approach, and so it did lead me to a deist place that I feel is actually undervalued. And what I mean by this is I feel that most of the people that I talk to, if I talk to women and men that are Jewish, that are most Christian doctrines, and I ask them, or let me back. So if they ask me my faith and I explain to them, they're just like, "Oh my God, are you batshit crazy? You don't believe in a God, and you don't believe in JC?" And I'll say, "Listen, I believe in a higher power. My higher power is one that is yet to be determined because man has not yet to understand this higher power. It's a energy, and it's a life force that doesn't show up in a burning bush or in a shroud or in your Starbucks coffee. It's something that man has yet not determined. But if you look at the definition, like Webster's definition, is something that takes a a theistic approach, and it's something like, look, a person or thing deified or excessively honored and admired. Mm-hmm. That's not even close to what my perception is of a God, okay? Or what this God can be. So I get your perspective of wanting to say, listen, dude, you have no proof, and we can go back and forth and we can have this discussion. But I've been through a 25-year, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to say pilgrimage because I am a fucking pilgrim. And I'm far from a man-made perception of what a faith can be, but it is something that needs to bring people together. And anyways, I'll let you guys talk for a minute.
I just one thing jumped out at me that you said. You at one point you said that the God or the Creator, I forgot the exact terminology. You said that they are unknown by man, can't be known by man, something along those lines. And then you said, but my perception of. And so those two don't go together. It either is perceivable or it's not. And you've kind of not cancelled it out, but you've kind of gone against your own definition there by saying that it's not perceivable, but also I perceive it as. So how would you tie that up for us?
Well, John, it's the agnostos theos. It's the unknown God. So
but you know about it.
13th God. I believe. Okay, so again, it's like none of us do. Kelley, John, none of them on your side or anybody's side understands what this higher power is. My belief, okay, of who I am and where I've been through my plight is that there is not a being, a power, a force, an energy, a something that man does not yet understand.
But so just to jump in. So man does not understand it, and yet you're defining it. So you have an understanding of it because you are defining it right now.
I'm defining it in the context of the information that I have at hand.
But that information, just to jump in again, that information is available to all of us, and we're not reaching that conclusion. So what's making you take the information that we all have and concluding that it was this energy or this being or this higher power?
Well, John, what do you have to rebut that what, like, your perspective is that there isn't a life force, there's not an energy, but in fact in the universe
Jim, stop for a second. Jim, stop for a second. I need you to stop for a second. It's not up to John to tell you why it's wrong. It's up. You came in with the claim. It's up for you to prove that it's correct.
Right.
And that's all John's asking you to do. He's asking you to show the proof. He's asking you to show us the 2 + 2 that got you to this 4. Mm-hmm. Can you do that?
Because we also have 2 + 2, or maybe we don't. Maybe we have 2 + 3 and we're concluding 5. And maybe you have 2 + 3, but you're concluding 4.
Or it could be we have 2 + 2 and we're concluding 5.
Yeah, right.
But we're not concluding the same claim, and you're not. And we're asking you to explain to us how you got to this claim. Mm-hmm. We're not refuting it. We're not rebutting it. We just want to know how you got there.
I tried to explain how I've gotten to the place that I'm at as far as my belief is in the unknown God. And my perspective is that, okay, the deistic approach, which you guys know is out there, unfortunately, and I don't know all the numbers, but I know that there's probably that some of the numbers are like the nuns, or that MTDs are the moralistic therapeutic deisms out there. That base is 30% of the U.S. population that you talk to, okay? And listen, I'm not here to debate. All right, I'm not here to go back and forth about is there a higher power? Is there not a higher power? I get it. You guys win this debate. We're at a standstill. I don't have any proof. Okay, I get the nature of your show is to take theists and say, what proof do you have? No, we don't have proof. You don't have proof. I'm here to have a discussion with you guys because you guys are
actually, Jim, that's not what this show is about. And we say it every Friday when we start the show. This show is about what people believe and why they believe it. It's not about trying to argue with people or debate people. We want to explore people's beliefs. And that's why John was asking you, how is it that you got to your belief? What was it that convinced you that this was true?
How do I believe that there's a higher energy and a life?
No. Not how do you? Why? What got you there? Not how did, like, we want to know. I said that we all have the same information. You have the information and you've concluded X. We have that information, but we don't conclude X. So why did you conclude X when we don't conclude X, but have all of the same information available to us?
People like Christopher Hitchens that I listened to in full detail for the last year, and listened to who's an atheist, but who respected and understood deists in the past, Plato, Voltaire, and a part of,
So Christopher Hitchens convinced you to be a deist?
Yes.
Christopher Hitchens, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Christopher Hitchens led me from a state of Unitarian pantheism to a deist place that I believed. I was definitely got out of the whole Unitarian side of like, okay, like I'm not going to accept other people's faith. Like they're wrong, the man-made faiths are absolutely not wrong, are absolutely wrong as far as that premise. But
can I ask a question? I just have a very quick question for you.
Yeah.
So you don't believe in man-made faiths. However, in your mind, this is what you believe. And until you can demonstrate it to be the case, it appears to me that it may be man-made.
That my faith, which is a schism of deism, is man-made.
That's what I'm guessing at. It sounds very much like that.
Well, of course it's man-made. Everything that we're talking about here is man-made. But
okay, that's interesting.
I meant theistic representations of. So I get what you're saying, but my point is that my belief is my belief at this point, that none of us are going to know because
let's just go back to like the reason that you called, that you feel like there's no community for your specific section of belief. And what I would say is there is a community for everything. You've just got to know where to look. And if you are questioning your deism, or you want to like really get firm on that, I can guarantee that there absolutely is a community out there for you if you know where to look. And unfortunately, I'm not a deist, so I don't know where to look. But I would say that if you look hard enough, you will definitely find that community of people that accept roughly the same thing as you.
Well, my comment was not that I didn't understand where the deists are there. The perspective is that there are so many more deists that are out there that don't know that they're deists.
Oh.
So that's my.
So that's but I've heard that a lot before. Like, people know that there's a God, they just choose not to know that there's a God. And it sounds like you've just taken what a lot of Christians say about the Christian God, or Muslims say about the Muslim God. You know that there's a God, you just choose not to believe it. And it almost sounds like you're now saying, well, you know that there's a creator, but you're just choosing to not accept that there's a creator.
Yeah.
Mine, again, and I'm holding firm, and I keep on, I keep on going back to this, is the power that is there is one that is unknown. You don't know it.
But you know about it because you're telling us about it.
Well, I'm telling you that it's there because it is an unknown that man may not ever experience. I mean, we're one of 100 million planets out there, and for us to be
and more
conceited to think that we have a God that is freaking paying attention to us and what's going on with our petty world and all this shit is just stupidity. But what I'm saying is that
you know what, just for a second, he may actually be aware of what's going on here, and he just doesn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, it's a possibility.
Then you're saying that there's a consciousness to that. I don't think there's a consciousness. I think it's
I'm just saying that it's a possibility.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I'm just saying, because you said that, that I was just bringing up a point that was kind of like going off of your point and showing you that there was something else that you hadn't thought about when you came to your conclusion. That's all I was doing. I was showing you that there, because like Sherlock Holmes, when every other thing has been exhausted, what's left must be the answer. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't know when you've exhausted all the other variables, and that's what I was doing. I was bringing up a variable that you didn't seem to have counted upon.
Right.
It sounds like I appreciate why you believe things. I understand why people believe things, but I think, Jim, the best thing for you to do, like the previous caller, is to go and like really research this stuff and give a way of demonstrating that this position, it makes the most sense more than any other position, and then come back when you've got all that stuff.
We'd love to have you come back.
Yeah, right.
Okay, John. I will do that. Like I said, I've been on a 25-year step of, and the last. I'm passionate about the quest for truth.
Good, and that's the best way to be. But what I want you to do, what I think would be beneficial for us, is not what you believe, but how we can come to that conclusion too, with all of the information available to us.
So how many episodes have you guys had? And has there been anyone that's provided you guys factual information?
Not yet.
Well,
No,
not about this, not on this topic, but yeah, I mean, people have called up with factual information, not on this topic, but yeah.
No, right.
Because this show is not about just theism, right? It's not about just religion.
Right. Well, I know. Well,
you could be the first, Jim.
I don't hear a lot of deist call, but then most people don't even know what a deist is.
I think a lot of people do know what deism is. I don't think that's the case. I just don't think that there has been any sufficient evidence to accept the position, and we are more than open to having that. If you can demonstrate it to us, provide that sufficient evidence that we all suddenly accept, we are more than open to it. I think I speak for everybody who is on any of the ACA shows. If some sufficient evidence is presented that is irrefutable, we will all suddenly go, do you know what? I think we've been wrong this entire time. But until that happens, I'm very much stuck in my position of non-belief.
Okay, I didn't know I was here to convert you guys, but
well, no, it's not to convert us. It's just you come in and talk about what you believe and why, and we then would like to understand why you believe it, and then maybe we can understand and believe ourselves to almost relate to what you're going through.
Jim, we're not on the offense here.
Right.
You seem like you're taking up a defensive stance here, and neither John or I are on the offense. We're trying to have a conversation.
No, that sounds good. I will do more to come back with some more information, but I don't know, based upon like where I'm at in my quests, I don't know what else I can come up with, but I appreciate you guys the time.
We appreciate it too. We really do.